welcome you again to Discovering Today. This is an awesome time when we learn the principles of life and how to make or do exploits in life, business, family, and career. Today, I'm going to talk about leadership and how to become a good leader. I know that everyone is a leader in one way or the other. Despite where you're leading, you're a leader. If you are in school and you are asked to take care of a number of students, you're a leader. If you're a teacher, you're a leader. You're a pastor, you're a leader. You work in a company, you're a leader. Even in the home, you're a father or mother, you're a leader. You're firstborn, you're a leader also. So everyone is a leader in one way or the other. But it takes knowing the better principles of leadership to lead well. Today, I want to take example from Elisha and Elijah. And I speak on the topic, choose your mentors well. One of the major facts that we must consider if we want to be good leaders is, who is my mentor? Who is my mentor? And then who is a mentor? A mentor is someone that you understudy, someone you learn from, someone you want to replace someday, someone you want to be like. A mentor is the place you want to be. What you want to become, you have not been. When you are attached to someone like that, and you are walking hand in hand with such a person, he becomes your mentor. Mentor is someone who tells you you're doing okay, or you're not doing okay. Mentor is someone who rebukes and who appraises you. Mentor is someone who knows where you're going when you are not even there. Now, Elijah was a mentor to Elisha. And it was Elisha's choice to have Elijah as mentor. Good, and became exactly what Elijah was, even 2 times. Elijah performed 7 miracles, but Elisha performed 14 miracles, plus his dead bone that raised the dead. So if you want to be successful in life, no matter what the career is, you need just a mentor or mentors. Now, if we read from 2 Kings chapter 2, verses 9 to 19, Elijah asked Elisha, and he said to him, ask me whatsoever that you want, for I am ready to be departed. And Elisha said, I need double portion of your spirit. And then here in these verses, Elijah said to Elisha, you have asked a strong thing. If we can use the King James Version word, said you have asked a hard thing. But he said to him, if you would watch me when I'll be taken away, if you watch me and then take my mantle, then you shall have whatever you asked. Elisha watched Elijah closely, hand to hand, leg to leg, until the mantle fell off and Elisha picked it and began. Now there are lessons that we must learn if we want to be good teamwork leaders. Now, every leader needs a mentor. No matter at the level you are, you need a mentor. Especially when you are an emerging leader, a leader that wants to become, a leader that must be known, a voice that your generation must hear. You need a mentor. In politics, you need a mentor. In religion, you need a mentor. In business, you need a mentor. In academic career or whatever, you need a mentor. Do you want to be a leader? The first step is get a mentor. Now, if we check the happening between Elijah and Elisha, this is what we see here. This man, Elisha, was anointed first to replace Elijah. Elisha was anointed to replace Elijah. Now, leaders must understand their role and calling. Elisha understood his role, then he was anointed by Elijah. You are not called to do everything. You are called to do something. And when you understand that thing you are called, ordained, born, destined to do, that's where leadership ability, leadership position skills began. Elisha knew it, that he was called to be a prophet. And when he met Elisha, he could say, yes, this is the mentor. Now, number 2, Elijah touched Elisha's mantle long before he took it over. In other words, leaders must understand their call and their role. Leaders must wait patiently on God's perfect timing. Now you see, Elisha had touched this mantle severally, but it was not time for it to be his. He waited patiently until it was time for the mantle to be over him. When you have a mentor, absolutely you need to wait patiently before the baton will be transferred over to you. Don't be in a haste to become, but patiently follow your mentor until you become. Then number 3, we found out that Elisha burned Elijah's farming tools. He burned his tools. Now what does that mean? Leaders must surrender their former ambition. Now, Elisha was once aiming to be a farmer, but his destiny was to be a prophet.
great to you. Many thanks for joining us. This is One TV Network Global News. First, the headlines. Bandits sack 30 Zamfara communities. Nnamdi Kanu calls for peace. Nathan says why he didn't implement 2014 Confab report. A bomb explosion rock Ethiopian city, plus other stories after this break. To stay with us. You're welcome back. I am Fortune with the news. Begin the news this hour. Story from Zamfara State. A member representing Gumi Bukum Federal Constituency of the Zamfara State, Suleiman Abubakar Gumi, on Tuesday said bandits had in 1 month sacked over 30 communities in the state. Gumi made this known while moving the motion on the need for the military to send more troops to the affected areas in the state to quell the rising attack. He added that bandits attacked several communities in the state, killed 16 people, injured many others, rustled cattle, destroyed property, and set police stations and food silos ablaze. He said that no day passes without any attack, and the of about 71 villages had fled their homes, while farmers had abandoned their farms for safety. Away from that, Governor of Benue State, Sam Otom, Wednesday accused the President Muhammadu Buhari-led federal government actively supporting Fulanis to take over Nigeria. Speaking with newsmen, Otom described as barbaric the gruesome killing of farmers in Edomoga, Okuku local government area of Benue State by gunmen believed to be herdsmen. Recall that more than 24 persons were recently killed in their sleep in Benue communities by suspected Fulani herdsmen. The suspected Fulani herdsmen had also invaded and killed 8 persons in Mbadwe, Guma local government area, and 16 in Toyim, a sprawling settlement in Taka local government area along Makodi Boko area. Otom believes that the recent attack in his state by Malatia Fulani herdsmen have to do with their agenda to take over the entire country. He alleged that the Fulanis have decided that they are going to take over this country, and actively they have been supported by the present government of President Muhammadu Buhari. From Benue, we get straight to Kaduna State, where bandits have again invaded Sabon Gero communities and Malania City in Chikum local government area of Kaduna State, killing 2 officials of the Joint Task Force and abducting many others, including a pharmacist and his wife. Report says that 6 of the earlier adopted victims were able to escape from the bandit, and 2 JTF members were killed in the attack while trying to stop the bandit for kidnapping some residents. Still talking security right here, embattled leader of the indigenous people Biafra has sued amidst the rising state of insecurity. Kanu had been denied bail by Justice Binta Yanko of the Federal High Court in Abuja over what she described as a gross abuse of court processes in an attempt to continue to litigate on issues that have already been ruled on. Speaking after the ruling, the 54-year-old condemned the wave of violent crimes, including murder and arson, that have practically plagued the southeast region of the country. Kanu is facing treason and other charges which are connected to his call for the cessation of the southeastern region of Nigeria. And also other news, the federal government, through the Nigerian Huge Commission to the United Kingdom, has hired lawyers to defend a former Deputy Senate President, Senator Ike Kremado, and his wife Beatrice over allegation of organ harvesting. The Senate President, Ahmed Lawan, who disclosed this after a closed section of the Red Chamber Wednesday added that the delegation of Chamber would visit Ekweremadu and his wife in London. Ekweremadu and his wife Beatrice were last week arrested and arraigned by Oxford Magistrate Court in London over allegation of organ harvesting. The court ruled that the former Deputy Senate President and his wife were remanded in custody till July 7, 2022, which is the next adjournment date. In a connecting development, the Nigerian Senate says it will dispatch a high-power delegation to meet with Senator Ike Ekweremadu in them in respect of the alleged organ harvesting saga involving Ekweremadu and his wife. The Senate's decision was after they met behind closed doors for 2 hours on Wednesday. The Senate President Ahmed Ibrahim Lawan commended Senator Ekweremadu's defense lawyer for working hard to get them out of detention. That he met with the British High Commissioner, who briefed him on the progress of the case as well as details of what has transpired. It will be recalled that Ike Ekweremadu, who was the former Deputy Senate President, was detained alongside his wife over alleged organ harvesting in the United Kingdom. You're still watching the news on One TV Network. We're going on a short break. We'll be right back after now with more news stories. Stay with us. You're welcome back. If you have just joined us, this is One TV Network News, and now to more news stories. The State High Court in Port Harcourt has sentenced and dismissed Sergeant James Ihmalu to death by hanging for the murder of a commercial driver, David Legbarry, 2015 over 100 naira bribe. Justice L.C. Thamsi, while delivering a judgment, found Ihmalu guilty for the murder of late Legbarry in Port Harcourt. Justice Thamsi said evidence before the court showed that the defendant intentionally fired a bullet at the commercial driver and described the dismissed sergeant as a serial trigger-happy policeman that should not be allowed to remain in the society after looking at his extrajudicial and confessional statement as well as the evidence presented by the prosecution team and their witnesses. The Rivers State David State allegation of an indecent sexual assault of a female student. Professor David Ogbonna, who was arraigned before Chief Magistrate Menene F. Poromo, where he pleaded not guilty to the charges. The alleged defense lawyer, O.C. King, urged the court to grant the defendant bail and self-recognize, considering his status in the society. Emi Jim George, lead lawyer holding watching brief International Federation of Women Lawyer FIDA, Rivers State Branch, urged the court not to grant the accused bail in view of an alleged threat to the life of the victim. The Chief Magistrate Poromo, after listening to argument of both lawyers, granted the accused bail a like sum of 2 million naira and that the surety must be residing in Magisterial District. The case was subsequently adjourned to July 20, 2022. Still on security stories, a magistrate court in Wuse, Abuja has granted bail to Amera Sufian, aka Amera Sufia, who used Twitter to give false kidnap alarm. Amera was arrested on June 17 after days of search amid Nigerians' condemnation of the government and security agencies over worsening insecurity. She had claimed that she and her 16 other residents of Abuja were kidnapped at gunpoint and taken to a forest. June 14, Amera alleged that the victims included 3 pregnant women and 2 children were adopted by men in police uniform. He granted the defendant bail over mental issues. In other news, Force Disciplinary Committee FDC has begun reviewing disciplinary cases instituted against 130 senior police officers of the rank of Assistant Superintendent of Police and above in order to determine the culpability or otherwise. The Force Public Relations Officer Olumuyiwa Adejobi disclosed this in a statement on Wednesday. According to him, the Force Discipline Committee assembled at the Inspector General of Police Conference Hall, Force Headquarters Abuja on Tuesday to review the cases against senior police. And now to other stories. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLA, says Nigeria is a major cannabis cultivating and consuming country. The chairman of NDLA, Boba Bawa, made this known in Abuja on Tuesday at the opening of a drug prevention, treatment and care training event for governors' wives. According to Mawa, the drug problem had become one of the world's greatest challenges threatening the well-being of human society. He said, quote, consequences of drug abuse, including chronic health conditions and untimely death, are essential threats that cannot be ignored by any responsible government. Nigeria has become a producer of and a market of crystal methamphetamine, known locally as Mpuru Miri. He added that Nigeria had become a dumping ground for illicit pharmaceutical opioids, especially codeine and tramadol, and remain Africa's major transit country for cocaine and heroin. And now to some political stories. The acting chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Ambassador Umar Damagum, has called for the United Kingdom continued support of the Nigerian electoral system and closely monitor the 2023 general election against any form of manipulation. He made the appeal while receiving a team of special representatives of the United Nations UN Secretary General led by head of the UN Office in West Africa and Sahel region, UNOWAS, Ahmed Anadif, on Tuesday in Abuja. Damagum, his deputy national chairman North, said the UN and international community place importance to the conduct of the 2023 general election in Nigeria. He urged the UN to advise INEC to ensure that the three elections were credible and transparent. UN Development Organization is one of the organs that ensure that things are done rightly, and that is why it plays an important role in the conduct of 2023 election. In other news, Governor Samuel Ortom of Benue State has urged the leadership of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to the Governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, an appeal to him. In his opinion, the PDP has treated Wike, a former presidential aspirant of the party, badly. Ortom explained that it was Wike who brought him back to the PDP in 2015 when he was treated unjustly. Recall that there have been reports that Wike has been involved lately in closed-down meetings with some top politicians who visited this country home shortly after the 2022 PDP presidential primaries and the controversial selection of Governor Ifeanyi Okowa as Atiku Abubakar's running mates. Still on election issues, as Nigeria prepares for 2023 general elections, the vice presidential candidate of ruling All Progressive Congress APC, Kabiru Masari, has informed the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) that his original certificates are missing. The placeholder running mate of the APC presidential candidate Bola Tinubu said in an affidavit submitted to the electoral body that he misplaced the original certificate while in transit and part of the nation's capital. According to the report, Masari, in the document submitted to INEC, filed an affidavit that he lost his primary and secondary school certificates. According to the document, Masari claimed he had his primary education in Katsina State between 1972 to 1978 and later obtained a grade 2 certificate from Katsina Teachers College in 1982 and a higher certificate in 1995. Away from that, a former governor of Kano State and senator representing Kano Central Senatorial District, Ibrahim Shekaru, has defected to the new Nigeria People's Party (NPP). His defection was announced by the Senate President Ahmed Ibrahim Lawan after the Upper Legislative Chamber resumed from a 2-hour cluster meeting on Wednesday. In Shakaru's letter of resignation from his former political party, the ruling All Progressive Congress APC, he cited injustice and unfairness by Kano State Governor Alhaji Abdullahi Umar Ganduje as part of reasons he was leaving the party. After the announcement, Senate President directed the Chief Whip to lead Shakaru to the opposition role in the Red Chamber. And now to Oshungoba Post. The Independent National Electoral Commission INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner REC for Osun State, Professor Abdulghani Olayinka Raji, has again appealed to politicians and political parties who feel aggrieved about the electoral issues not to resort to social media, as the doors of the commission is always open. The Osun INEC REC made this known on Tuesday during the Omoluabi Convergence, an initiative of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations NIPR Osun State Chapter, held a brainstorm with gubernatorial candidates towards a peaceful Osun 2022 gubernatorial election. Professor Raji, while blaming politicians and political parties for their refusal to cooperate with INEC, has called on the political parties to confront the electoral umpire rather than resort to social media. In his words, quote, "If I will use social media, I will use it to advance myself and to aid conduct a free, fair, and inclusive and conclusive election, and not to discredit or cause to spread hate speech, information that are unfounded, or fight anyone. Our office is open to everyone, and I can approach anywhere. We can always talk in order to advance peace, so that this election will be peaceful." End of quote. Away from that, as Nigerians ponder on the various issues affecting the country's polity, former President Goodluck Jonathan has given an insight into why his administration was unable to implement recommendations contained in the report of the 2014 National Conference, which his administration commissioned. Jonathan offered his explanation at a public presentation of a book on the 2014 National Conference titled The National Conversation, authored by Akpandem James and Sam Akpem in Abuja on Tuesday. In 2014, Confab made far-reaching recommendations each had the potential of reducing, if eliminating, some of the socio-economic and security challenges currently being faced across the country. Some of the recommendations include devolution of powers to states and the area and the control of resources, among other things. Jonathan, in his address, raised the event by the famous secretary to the government of the Federation, Ayim Pius Ayim, said, "When people says I have implemented the report of the conference, my feeling is either those people did not understand the political environment as at that time, to implement a report of the conference like that, or they're just playing politics with such an important matter." He continued, "Those who are familiar with the process of constitutional review will know that to implement the Confab report, a number of alterations will be made in the Constitution which will require the involvement of the National and State Assembly. Such an elaborate review will be turned impossible at that time, because that time the report was submitted in August 2004, on the verge of the 25th election." In other news, Governor Samuel Ortom of State why he cannot pay salaries to sustain the state. Ortom, who became amusement on Wednesday, said he could not pay salaries and sustain Benue because the federal government has refused to support him in getting a loan from the bank to offset the arrears of salaries in Benue. Ortom said, "Just 2 weeks ago, I applied to collect a loan from the the arrears of salaries that I inherited, over 70 billion naira. The federal government rejected it because I refused to join them in the APC. If they had given me that money, I would have cleared it, and then nobody would have been talking about issues of arrears of salaries. I've been paying salaries since 2018. The stakeholders met, and I said I should pay. What is left is the arrears of salaries." You're still watching the news on One TV network. We're going to breather. We'll be right back after now to stay with us. You're welcome back. If you've just joined us, this is One TV Network Global News, and now to more news stories. We'll talk business right now. The Coordinating Committee on the Review of Outstanding Grant Rents of over 29 billion naira owned by the FCT administration has commenced work. In a statement issued by the committee on Wednesday, the property owners who failed to pay risk prosecution, revocation, or outright forfeiture. Mohamed Hazard Sule, Director of Information, said the Recovery Committee was set up after several appeals and notice served. The FCT Permanent Secretary Adeshola Olusade recently inaugurated with a mandate to recover standing debts. The committee is expected to formally start communicating to the affected persons and corporate bodies from Friday, July. The federal government has said it is regrettable that Nigeria's petroleum refineries are not working and the possibility of introducing subsidies on automotive gas oil, also known as diesel. The Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Mela Kyari, made this known in Abuja, stated that the government cannot afford the payment of subsidies on diesel. He made the comment while appearing before the House of Representatives Committee on Downstream alongside CEO of Nigerian Mainstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authorities, Farouk Ahmed, among others. And in sports, Super Eagles star Ojo Ighalo has won his first ever career title after inspiring Al Ahly to win the Saudi League on Monday night. The former Manchester United forward scored twice to help the Al Ahly defeat Al Fasal to win the final league game of the season at the King Fahd International Stadium, Riyadh. Ighalo is a top scorer after barging 24 goals in the course of the season as it became the 8th time Al Ahly while being winning the title. Complete Sports report. The Nigerian international who left Al Shabab for Ahly mid-season finished the campaign with 24 goals to become the top scorer. Ighalo had to wait 70 years before claiming his first ever title. Well, that news and sport have come to the end of the news. Many thanks for watching. I am Flora Jeep. Bye for now.